Help them to learn. Hello, everybody, and welcome to That's Football. That was a quick turnover. It wasn't quite a Red Bull pit stop, but it was a quick turnover from the United stand onto That's Football. I hope you're all doing very well. We're ready to go, and it's an Amazon Prime night. It's an Amazon Prime night. I'd forgotten about that. But we're ready to go here. Hope you're doing very, very well. Lots planned on the show tonight, featuring Luton against, obviously, Arsenal. We've got the team news on the screen for you there that's whizzing round. Big shout out to OneFootball. Download that for free through the QR code or the link in the description. Get all your latest breaking football news and transfer news. But also, the great thing I love about it is that you can get the individual player stats. Arsenal playing in their lime green kit. And pretty much the same team that played the other night. I fancy a goal fest here, and not from Luton. Rice and Havertz and Odegaard playing, so he's going very attacking here with the front three of Saka, Jesus and Martinelli as well. Christmas tree fallen bridge. No, it hasn't. It's still there. We will be talking a little bit of festivities, though. I want to talk about best Christmas movie ever, best Christmas song ever, what's your best advent calendar ever, what's your best wank? No, we won't do that. Yeah, lots to get into, and I hope you're all doing very well for what will be a very interesting game of football. No doubt about that. I think that what I've played the game. What I think about this is that Luton have got absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance. Would I like them to have a chance? I mean, it'd be great for football. It would be great for football if they did, but I think they've got none. I think you've got no chance, Luton. But you know, a lot of people from Luton support Arsenal. Actually, just saying. But yeah, get your comments in as normal. United tomorrow night play Chelsea at the same time. I'm absolutely pissed off, to be honest. I'm so pissed off that they're kicking off at the same time as the Man City against Villa game. But it is what it is. I'm getting a Mark Goldbridge pillow for Christmas, as Connor. Oh, those things just make me feel a bit sick, to be honest. Arsenal apparently haven't won here since the 80s, says Daniel. Have they played there since the 80s? That's a big thing. I remember Luton beating Arsenal in a cup. I can't remember what it was. A vague memory as a child. They beat them in a cup, and maybe someone in the chat will know. But Luton beat Arsenal at Wembley in a cup. I just remember. I don't even remember if I was alive for it or I just read it somewhere. But Dissident Agnostic says it was a League Cup game. Big shout out to the Goldbridge Podcast Ultras, out new today. I'll drop the link in the description for you. There's a big poll going on there at the moment. It's a vote for whether we should get rid of the jingle, which is for Pratt of the Week. And Jojo on the Spotify comments has already said, get rid of the jingle. It's the sort of thing a 5-year-old would get excited about. Well, Jojo, I have reported you and your username to the police. I don't know why you're so experienced in what excites people of that age, but yeah, you've exposed yourself there. This is how it should be. $7.99 to watch every Premier League game on TV. Amazon should take over and make a subscription thing. What do you think? Says Nathan Allen. I think the problem with streaming services is that you're always going to be in the hands of how good your internet is, and no one likes lag. So yeah, I think that could be problematic. Yeah. Have you ever been to Dublin for Christmas, Mark? Says Eamon. Only when I fucking lived there for 3 years. No, I lived in Dublin for 3 years, and I just realised I'm being a bit of an arsehole because Eamon might not realise that. But yes, I have been there because I lived there for 3 years. So it's a bit like saying, you know, have you been in your house for Christmas? Yes, I lived there. But I don't live there anymore. Have you seen GTA 6? I'm disappointed that it won't be coming out until 2025. Where's win, lose or draw, says Farhan. On Thursday. All will be revealed on Thursday. Dan G says rude. Talking about virgins, did you realise that... did you realise... This is quite interesting. You know the I've had a brain blank. I've had a brain blank now. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. No more Premier League on Amazon after 2024, says Fast Furious. So what happens? What happens then? Arsenal have got an early free kick here to whip across into the box. Rob, welcome to the Members Club. GTA will get postponed until 2026 as well, says Jerry. I'm not getting excited about a game that's not coming out for a few years. And Meme doesn't like the Arsenal kit. There is, let's just see what happens with this free kick. Whipped in by Declan Rice, and Luton should be able to deal with these sort of incidents really quite comfortably because they are physical. They're physical like a polar bear. See, I've always got to get polar bear in. Always got to get it in. That's what she said. That's bestiality, isn't it? Something like that. Or polar bear. Imagine the polar bear doing. No, I don't want to go down that road. Oh my god. No. Camera's weird. Yeah, it's always weird at Luton. It is always weird at Luton. We've deduced that before. Yes. Got any Arsenal players in your fantasy team, says Will. I have, actually. Saliba, and I nearly went with Odegaard, but I didn't. I've gone with, and it could end up being masterclass from me tonight, because I've gone with Wang Hee-chan! Yes, in! Get the fuck in! Yes! I'm a bloody genius! I'm a bloody genius! I'm a genius! Yes! Yes, yes, and more yes. I didn't even know he'd scored until I looked there. Get in. I've got Saka and I've got Saliba, and I nearly put Odegaard in, but I didn't. I put Wang Hee-chan in, and he's bloody scored. It's 1-0 against Burnley. Rob says, I've been a member for 8 months. Didn't know it lapsed. Moose, better than a polar bear, says Rob. Thank you very much. That's always good. My fans, I'm on the way back with my Fantasy Premier League. Talking about back, Havertz has hurt his back here. Or was it? No, it's Martinelli. Right in the back. Ooh. I think he's going to be all right, though. I do think he's going to be all right. Merry Christmas, everyone. So kiss me under the mistletoe. Ten Hag out is insane. Imagine Martin Scorsese having to direct Live Chickens and thinking you need to replace Scorsese to improve the acting. Charlie, you're a poet and you didn't know it. Lovely. Absolutely love it. And I think I've caught up on those super chats. Mark, you know there is a lot of United fans in the Southwest. So where are you coming to? When are you coming to do a show live in the region, says Liam Devon Red. I'd love to come and do a show in the region of the Southwest, which is never eat shredded wheat. So that's like Cornwall and areas like that. Rebecca Challenger has used hazard signs to say the podcast is bloody brilliant this week. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm glad you've really enjoyed it. We've got quite a few new people joining the Goldbridge Ultras this week. I've seen it in the comments. So if you want to check out Goldbridge Saves Football podcast, it's out every Tuesday morning. And then we do a Friday weekend preview if there's Premier League games. Out today, talking about all sorts of stuff. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester United, Man City, the new TV deal, which was a great conversation. Pratt of the Week. There's a massive poll to vote in as well, if you're a Spotify listener, on whether we need to get rid of our jingle. It's a jingle poll, not a jingle bell. So check it out. Links in the live chat. Please give it a download for later and join the Goldbridge Ultras on the podcast. Thank you very much. Mark, I know you have discussed this, but how do you think they do against Liverpool if they're able to beat their upcoming teams? Do you see them winning, says Hidden? Who? Arsenal? I can't wait for Arsenal to play Liverpool. 23rd, that's my first Christmas present. And I don't even support either of them. I'm so ready for that game. That tree, Mark, is lovely, says Chris. Thank you. Smash a like on the video. Real tree. None of that green screen shit. We're not in COVID anymore. Get a real fucking tree. Don't get a picture and just... Don't get a piece of green and pretend you've got a real background. Get a real background. Get real opinions and get a real background. It's so liberating. So it's so liberating to be able to turn around and touch my balls. They're real balls. Gems has gifted a membership. Thank you very much. And Liverpool Man United at Anfield. Oh, Sid. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that one. Haaland at Kenilworth Road this weekend will be great banter, says Shotgun Justice. Yes, well, I think Luton have got two of the most difficult games of the season, really, haven't they? Arsenal tonight, and then they've got Man City on the weekend. But we've had 8 minutes here, and it's still 0-0. Good start. Good start. Luton 16-1 to get a result here, says Facing Dexter. Well, yeah, I mean, I didn't give you the Arsenal team news, did I? Which was naughty of me. It's half time between Wolves and Burnley, by the way, and the Arsenal team news will be going round on your screen anyway. But just so you know it's well, I'll give you Luton first. Kaminsky, Mengi, Oshu, Bell, Kabori, Mbanza, Barkley, Doherty, Townsend, Brown and Adebayo. Yeah, we don't know most of those, do we? But the Arsenal team, Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Kuiar, Odegaard, Rice, Havertz and Saka, Jesus and Martinelli. I think for Arsenal, it's just about getting that first goal, isn't it? Oh, okay, thank you very much for that. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Who's going to win the league, says J Football. I don't get involved in that. I don't get involved in that. It's way too early. We don't even know who's going to be top at Christmas, and that's in 3 weeks. You're asking me to tell you who's going to be top in May. I still think it's Man City's title to lose because they're so well drilled. Oh, Saka's just had it from behind as well. They're trying to rough them up a little bit, aren't they? I mean, this literally just happened to Martinelli on one side, and then they've gone through the back of Saka as well. They're naughty fouls, really. I do think that the referee should be picking up on this because it's being done on purpose. 73% possession for Arsenal. But yeah, I think with Man City, they've just got that know-how after Christmas to keep going again and again and again and again. What's Bro doing on the laptop, says ISO. I think he's showing him the trailer from GTA 6. Daniel Roach says, Mark, 2 months ago you said Man City will win the league by Christmas. Yeah, I did. That's what I thought at the time. And I'm very glad that it's not the case. Mark, how's your December been so far? And do you have any plans? I'm just tuning in and I'm a big fan, says Daniel. Oh, I've got lots of plans. I've got my Christmas show on Monday in Manchester. Looking forward to that. I think we've sold it out now, but if you want to come along, see if you can get a ticket. Monday night in Manchester. Looking forward to that. And then Christmas Day. Yeah, I'm sure everyone else is doing stuff for that. And Dookie says, it's good to see a proper title race. It is, yeah. Arsenal need to watch out for crosses, says Pyro. I mean, you know, I mean, look, Luton are not losing at the moment. We've had 11 minutes. They got a draw against Liverpool, didn't they, here? So, Man United only beat them 1-0 at Old Trafford. They are growing into the league, but I just think they just haven't got the players to stay up. I don't think they're dreadful. I just think they're nowhere near good enough to stay up. Put them back in the Championship, they'd probably be in the top 4 again. Stefan says the referees don't protect Arsenal players. Saka and Martinelli always getting fouled 5 or 6 times for a yellow card being branded. It's not good enough. Players need to be protected. Look, I'm not here to protect Arsenal. As a Manchester United fan, I couldn't really give a shit. But I actually completely agree with you, Stefan. I think that there's already been a couple of fouls on Martinelli and Saka that they're from behind on purpose. I think if you've played the game or you've watched the game, you know what's going on. And referees don't do themselves any favour in these situations because basically that you're inviting them to do it again until you give a yellow card. I'm not singing a cup of tea and biscuits, Nirvana. People aren't ready for it. It's a song I'm working on in 2024. Oyson says, cracking show on United Stand. You called it this morning and United have showed a bit of courage. It was amazing. I did say this morning that they should ban them from the press conference and then they did ban them. I never thought they would, so fair play. What's your overall rank on FPL, says Amanchu? I'd be lying if I thought I was in the top 2 million. Points. Overall, I'm 1,800,070. So I'm in the top 1.9 million. How many people play it? I bet there's tens of millions of people who play this. Don't forget Martinelli nearly broke a player's neck last season for crouching low during a header, says Scribble. Joel Daniel says some United players watch you, Mark. A lot of footballers watch this sort of content. Wonky FIFA card. I'll sort that out in a minute. How many goals are United losing by tomorrow at the hands of Chelsea, says Cag. Oh, you just made me remember something. So, talking about virgins, Cag, this is really interesting. Did you know that, the writer of Alice in Wonderland, what was his name? What was his name who wrote it? It's going to come to me. Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll wrote the book Alice in Wonderland, right? When he died a virgin. So he wrote Alice in Wonderland, but he never knew what it was like to be Lewis up the chuff. It's amazing, isn't it? Absolutely amazing. And also, another interesting virgin, Sir Isaac Newton apparently died a virgin as well. So he invented gravity, but died a virgin. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, does it? Gravity, uplifting, and never utilised it. Apparently very true. How many? You never know if it's true, do you? But it's rumoured to be true. How many goals are United? Yeah, so you can have that, Cag. He didn't invent gravity. He discovered gravity, of course. Yeah. Sorry, I was getting a bit too excited, which is something Lewis and Isaac probably never did. Discovered gravity, not invented it. Yes. Thank you all the boffins in the chat. Yeah. If you're saying discovered instead of invented, you're probably in the Lewis Carroll and Isaac Newton gang, really. Take the V. Can you say happy birthday to my mate Churn, says Barry. There you go. Another foul here, but it's the other one. Oh, no, it's not. It's late on Gabriel that time. So 16 minutes gone, still 0-0. Luton at the moment depriving Arsenal, who at this stage against Wolves at the weekend, I think we're 2-0 up. But they just can't make their way through this Luton rearguard at the moment. Bit like Sir Isaac Newton. I've set myself off now. Mark, great show on United Stand. Amazing how we seem to have forgotten Glazers have played a blinder again in deflection of incompetence. Cheers, pal, says Mike. Yeah, absolutely spot on. And what happened to EAFC, says Lawrence. I don't know yet. I might bring it back. I haven't made my mind up yet, but this week was always going to be difficult for me. Joe says, I've got 6 tickets for the show for sale. We're not going after hearing Faz is going to be on the show. Mate, he's not on it for long. And a lot of people are going to be on stage on the night. It's a variety show. For all you know, we might be chucking tomatoes at Faz, and then you really want to go. So you just don't know. But we're not doing that anyway. It happens to some guys. My friend got it at 25 years old, says Chris. I don't know what he's talking about there. Jove says, do you think Arteta will get a ban for the game against Liverpool due to his post-Newcastle comments? That's what I think is going to happen. Well, that'd be interesting. I suppose he will at the moment. Somebody just called him Sir Fullsack Newton. Unbelievably disrespectful to the guy who invented gravity. Discovered gravity. We do win, lose or draw on a Thursday. Stop getting your knickers in a twist. Some of you get really stressed. You'll give yourself a heart attack. Actually, just talk about that for a moment. You know, this is how my mind works. I read something in the chat and it just sends me on a track of Sir Isaac Newton was an alleged virgin. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like he's an alleged robber. You know, it's up to him what he does. But just talking about the heart attack thing there, I was watching, I don't know what it was. I think it was some daytime TV thing was on in the kitchen when I went in to get a coffee the other day. I wasn't watching it. It was just on the TV when I went to get a coffee. And they had this doctor on who was talking about heart attacks and the risks of heart attacks. And he gets asked a question. Unbelievable question. I mean, this is the height of modern day presenters. They've got a doctor on talking about the risks of heart attacks. You know what pearl of wisdom the presenter came out with? I mean, it should have been Richard Madeley, but it wasn't. They said, "What's the best place to get a heart attack?" And I thought, wow, you know, you've been to medical school for like 7 years to become a doctor. You go on national TV, and the Pratt presenter asks you the probing question of where's the best place to have a heart attack? I mean, I almost felt like he was going to, you know, exactly what the fuck says Jaden. I mean, and he actually had to ask for clarity. And I thought, fair play, he's got the patience of a saint. And they said, well, what I mean is, if you're going to have a heart attack and, you know, it's probably going to be a bad one, where's the play? Goal! Goal! Luton! Luton have conceded, sorry. God, imagine if anyone's listening on audio. I've just absolutely bantered them. I've gone goal, Luton. And it's goal, Arsenal. It's Martinelli. We'll come back to the heart attack story in a minute. But it's 1-0 to Arsenal. I mean, that's not to give anyone a heart attack. It's not a surprise. But Martinelli scored. And basically, there wasn't a lot of danger. The Luton goalkeeper kicked it out for a throw-in to stop a goal kick. Luton haven't got back quick enough and, you know, held their shape. And it's another assist for Saka, by the way, who ends up cutting it back very, very quickly to Martinelli. And I tell you what, from a defensive point of view, it's a lovely finish by Martinelli. It's another assist by Saka. But Luton should be really pissed off with themselves because this first 20 minutes, they've kept a really good shape against Arsenal. And then the goalkeeper stops a goal kick by kicking it out for a throw-in. And Luton just don't get back in time. And Arsenal, knowing that the first goal is going to be massive on this, they've taken advantage of Luton being out of their shape. And that's just poor defending from Luton. Really, really poor. It's 1-0 to Arsenal. And that's because that's what it is. And it's a goal for Saka. It's an assist for Saka as well. So 1-0. Hey, you're right. You're right. I can see it now. Well, well, you never know what's going to happen in football, but that should be that, in a sense. Really should. Clip that bit up immediately, says Azek. What bit? You just trolled the Luton fans. I can live with it. I doubt there's many Luton fans who tonight aren't watching the game and are totally reliant on my audio. But if there are, I apologise. Colin said you had me there. Sorry. Yeah, I probably have got more. Actually, lots of people have said that they keep the watch-along on when they're not necessarily going to be watching the game. Like the 9. He says, I'm at work and are actually listening as well. A few people have told me that they just put the watch-along on when they're wrapping presents or having a bath or playing computer games as their update for the game. Another assist for Saka. Apparently, he's got an assist in his last 900 games. No, I'm only joking. He has got a lot of assists. Walking the dog, exactly, yeah. So, no, it's 1-0 to Arsenal, definitely. And it was a good goal. But Luton are now in a position where they've got a twist. They can't just stick now. 1-0 result isn't really going to be worth it. They've got to... But they put themselves... Jesus has a shot. They put themselves in a position where they could open themselves up to being absolutely battered. Hope not. But we could see a lot of goals. It was always going to be a win for Arsenal tonight. I don't think anybody was going to go against that. But that early goal really does open things up a lot for Arsenal. And they'll be hoping that they can exploit this Luton rearguard and get a few goals here. Goal difference, exactly. It'd be interesting to see how many Man City get at the weekend, actually. Not interesting enough to watch it. I think Man City are boring enough without watching them play against a team like Luton. But, yeah, 1-0. Lots of people are having a bath. Ben's in the bath and Foxdot are in the bath, and their chat came after each other. I wonder if they're in the bath together. Never been a big fan of bathing together. Even if it's someone very attractive, which in this case would be my wife. I'm not digging a hole here. But no, I think a bath for me is like... I like a nice warm bath. A few... I use that molten brown, get a nice scent and a few bubbles. And then... nice, not too hot, but definitely warm bath, above warm. And then just relax and read a magazine or something like that. Yeah, I don't want to be sharing it with somebody's big arse. So, yeah. Cross comes in. Luton have scored! It's not a drill, it's Osho, and they have actually scored. I can't believe it. I've jinxed Arsenal. Guess how they scored. Guess how they scored. They've scored from a corner and a header. That's how it's happened. Somebody just say, how's that happened, says Dylan. It's happened while I've been talking about a nice deep bath. Luton have gone and had a laugh and they've scored here. And it's great for the game. It's great for the game because Arsenal just scoring, you think, oh, this is going to be boring. And it's a corner. This is where Luton are going to be dangerous. It's not really a towering header. It's poor from Arsenal, really, because he's standing still. He's not in the air when he heads this. Everybody misses it. And then he's basically just stood there like that. It's not a good goal for Arsenal to concede. Raya can't get anywhere near it. If you've got a man on the post, then, there's a chance. But it's 1-1 to Luton. Luton have equalised here. That's a clean sheet gone. Shocking defending, says Crest. It's not good from Arsenal, that. It's a really... I mean, it won't surprise people that Luton have scored a corner. But when you see the corner, it's not... you should be defending that. I think Man City's in for a tough game at Villa, says Jokers. I really hope so. I've just ordered my Garnacho ho-ho jumper, says Son. Nice one, pal. Nice one. You'll enjoy that. Do a bath watch-along, says Aiden. I need to get back to going for Goldbridge or driving or walking with Goldbridge. I've got so much to say. Just don't have the time to do it. Up the Villa, says Hannah. I want the Villa to win tomorrow. I think we're all Villa tomorrow. Even Will on the podcast, who's a Birmingham fan, I think secretly he wants Villa to win just for the title race. So, the Max says, "Can you carry on with the heart attack story?" Well, I will do, but the game's entertaining us at the moment. So yes, I'm in the kitchen, going to get a cup of coffee, and the TV is on. Don't tell Greta. We do have either the TV or the radio on in the kitchen for the dog. There's no one else in there in the day, but the dog likes it. Big fan of loose women. And not because it likes having sex, because it likes the TV show. And if it was having sex with loose women, it would be a female dog, not a human. And the dog's a bitch as well, which is bitch is dog for female. So it would be girl. Anyway, we digress. The TV's on in the kitchen for the dog. And I walk in to make myself a coffee, and I hear they've got a doctor on, and they're talking about the risks of heart attacks. And the presenter says, where's the best place to have a heart attack? And I feel for the doctor who's been to medical school for however many years that he gets such a crap question. So he clarifies and says, what do you mean? Where's the best place to have a heart attack? And I'm thinking to myself, oh, he should have gone along with it and just said, well, actually, the best place to have a heart attack is probably when you're having, you're on certain adult websites, But no, he doesn't. He says, what do you mean by that? And the presenter, realises they're being mugged off because they've asked a stupid question, says, no, I mean, if you're going to have a bad heart attack, where's the best place to be? And he says, well, obviously, as many people in the chat have said, in the hospital. And anyway, the presenter can't leave it there. So they go, all right, what I'm basically saying is, if you were going to have a heart attack and it's going to kill you, where's the best place to do it? And the doctor said, well, probably in your sleep, because you probably won't know anything about it. Okay, that's fine. That's fair enough, I suppose. Although how you'd know that, I don't know. And then it got me thinking where I think the worst place to have a heart attack would be. And I was thinking the worst place to have a heart attack would be at Christmas, after your Christmas dinner, when everybody's playing charades. You know that game where you go 3 words, 2 syllables, first word, film. You've just done that and then a heart attack happens. You're absolutely fucked, aren't you? You're absolutely screwed because you're having a heart attack and people think you're acting out the charades and they're going, death wish, heartbeat. Someone goes Free Willy because there's always an idiot. There's always an idiot, isn't there? There was someone who guesses something completely wrong. And as you're rolling around, somebody suddenly goes, I've got it. I've got it. Definitely got it. It's Die Hard. It's already too late. But no, you imagine that. I wonder if there is somebody in history, well, they won't be able to tell us, who, whilst playing charades, had a heart attack and how long it took people to realise. Apparently, the comedian, what's his name? Tommy Cooper. Tommy Cooper, apparently he died of a heart attack on stage and people thought it was part of the act. In fact, I've just realised, I feel really morbid now. If I had a heart attack here, you lot would probably think it's part of the act. NKS says talk about football. Yeah, you're on the wrong channel, mate. We're a community who talk about all sorts of things. I don't remember Tommy Cooper actually. Luton are on the attack here. It's 1-1 after half an hour. It's 1-1 here. Mark, let's lighten the mood a little bit anyway. Cag says there's absolutely nothing wrong with cucumbers in women's prisons, by the way. Yeah, I don't know where that came from. I was pissed off. What do you think is the best Christmas movie? Give us some recommendations and why. We'll bring a bit. We'll get from heart attacks to Christmas. Let's lighten the mood a bit. It's like going from talking about Dan Burn to Messi. Let's move up. I'm not saying Dan Burn's shit, but let's move it up a bit. Die Hard. I've just given you the hint. Yeah, we're back on the heart attack again. Himanshu says Home Alone 2. Gabriel Jesus into. Oh, good save by the keeper there. That was from Havertz. You know what I will say from a purely footballing point of view? Jesus, Odegaard gets blocked. I genuinely do not think The Holiday is quite good. Polar Express. Emmanuel in Space. That's not a Christmas film. Great Escape's not a Christmas film. It's just on at Christmas. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Love Actually, yeah. I don't know whether we've got any Arsenal fans in the chat. I really do not think that the Havertz Odegaard thing works. And I know why you're doing it. Arteta. You're doing it because you're playing Luton. But I really don't think it works. Gabriel's just been caught late here. He's going to get a yellow card. He's got his face in the grass. His face is in the turf. Sounds a bit odd, doesn't it? But I didn't see what happened. Oh, I tell you what. Might be a red card review for Luton here. He stayed down. Let me have a look. I don't know. No. His foot is up. I don't think he catches him enough for it to be a red, but he's lucky. Start, bench, sell, volleyball, shot put, javelin, says Johnny. Well, I'm starting volleyball because I quite like volleyball. Javelin, bench, shot put can get lost. I hated that. I hate that. I like Tim Allen's Santa Claus, Dylan. Trouble is, we're already in that. I was reading an article in GQ magazine today about the Office Christmas specials, you know, like the sitcom The Office. And I always do this every year. Like, I'm running out of time to be able to watch all the Christmas stuff I want to watch. I've got so much I want to watch, but then football comes along. I won't be off this till like 10:15. Then I'll go upstairs. I'll try and put something on and I'll fall asleep. So that's a night gone. Tomorrow night it's Man United Chelsea. I'll wake up on Christmas Day and I'll go, oh shit, I've not watched everything again. What's going on here? Referee. That's never a handball. You can't give a handball for that. He's literally booted the ball at his hand. VAR. What's your favourite dog breed, says Charlie. No, not interested in that. And Super Bowl watch-along. Yep, that's in February, mate. It's in Vegas, isn't it? Hussam says, do you think you could survive a zombie apocalypse? Yeah. It's a good question. You know, when you watch films like The Walking Dead, I really do think you've got to be an absolute prat to get killed by them zombies. They're so slow. Now, 28 days later, they're really fast. You know the one with not Ewan McGregor, the other Scottish one, Robert Carlyle. But The Walking Dead, their zombies are so slow. I'd almost mock them. It's like mocking somebody that's overweight, isn't it? Which you should never do. But I mean, mocking them in a running race, not because they're fat, just because that you're quicker than them. You can't mock people because they're fat. That's not fair. But I mean, like, I'm talking about speed. The bottom line is I'm quicker than somebody who is 20 stone. So I would go in front of a Walking Dead person, zombie, and I'd go, have that. Have that. You're too slow. They were a bit quicker earlier on, says Gavin. Yeah, they're very slow. I'd play Odegaard or Havertz, then play Trossard, says Reese. Yes, I don't like the Havertz Odegaard thing. It just doesn't. It doesn't work. Merry Christmas, everyone. Well, I think there's no doubting that he's done a good job at Arsenal, Arteta. But I think Havertz will work, but I don't think you can pick Havertz and Odegaard in the same team. It just doesn't seem to work. Secret Santa, yes or no, says Toon. I don't like Secret Santa. If nobody knows what Secret Santa is, basically at work or college or wherever, you all put your name in a hat, you're given a name at random, and then you've got to buy them a present. And it's normally to a value of £5 or £10. What a load of shit. Gareth from The Office got it right. Don't bother me getting any novelty shit. Just give me the £5 in a card, because it's just waste of time. You know, it's greed and commercialisation for no reason. That £5 should go to a squirrel charity or, a badger or a dolphin or something like that. It's a waste of time. It's just spend all those people spending a fiver on load of shit. What can you even buy for a fiver that's worth it? It's a nonsense. I don't like it. Maybe I'm getting a bit grumpy in my old age, but there we go. Start, bench, sell, the Royal Family, The Office, or Any Fools and Horses. I like all three. I would sell Royal Family though. I would bench The Office, and I would start Any Fools and Horses. Infern's laughing about squirrel charity. I guarantee you, there's a squirrel charity. There's a charity for everything. There'll be a bloody charity for discarded dildos. I guarantee it. There'll definitely be a chat group on Reddit as well. Pictures of discarded dildos. There's something for everything. That's the world we live in. Rubble says, my girlfriend's... I love this. Agony Bridge. Rubble says, my girlfriend is visiting me for Christmas. Girlfriend, or are you paying for it? I mean, that's too far. I don't need to know. Let's imagine it is your girlfriend. My girlfriend is visiting me for Christmas. What should I put in her sock? I want to surprise her. We've been together for 5 years. Well, what would you put in her sock? You've been together for 5 years and you want to surprise her. Well, you know, find something she likes and then enhance it. Cucumber was the perfect answer. I missed an open goal there. Call me Timo Bridge. I missed a right open goal there. I should have just said cucumber. It would have been brilliant. Great thing about cucumbers is that they're very, very, very diverse. Like, you can use them in all sorts of situations. Saka's just had a shot. You can use them in a salad, a sandwich, a muffin. Someone bought me sick bags as Secret Santa after I spewed playing fives with workmates. Was pretty funny, to be fair, says Jack. Oh, don't say this to me. You know, Pyro, you don't do it unless it's true. You're an arsehole. He's an absolute arsenal. So Pyro in the chat just said Hwang Hee-chan hat-trick. He still only scored one. You're an arse, mate. You're an arse. If I had a cucumber, I'd whack it round your head, which is probably assault. I mean, I don't know whether you've ever been whacked round the head with a cucumber, but it would hurt. They're quite hard. That's the whole point of why I said what I said at the weekend. They're not flimsy. Connor says, did you read the New York Times article on watchalongs? Nope. Dan Lerner says, what's your advice for getting with girls? Don't say just be yourself. I want them to actually like me. You've almost told a joke there. Another stoppage in the Luton Arsenal game here. Why is that not a penalty? A lot of people saying there should have been a penalty there. Electric says his FPL is dying. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, you're very welcome. Don't forget, tomorrow night it's Man United against Chelsea. Looking forward to that. You should do a life advice segment, says Dougie. Are you Team King Kong or Team Godzilla? Oh, you know, I'm honestly NK. I'm team I don't give a shit. I'm not listening to anything about Hwang Hee-chan anymore. People are saying Hwang Hee-chan own goal, Hwang Hee-chan red card, Hwang Hee-chan has punched the ref. Yeah, we all know it's a joke. Mark, did you know that a pig can kill a giraffe? Says Nathan. Well, we've gone from one extreme to another, because apparently a giraffe would beat a lion, but now a pig would beat a giraffe. I mean, that's just incredible. Doesn't even make any sense. Yeah, going back to what I was saying before, though, I feel like Havertz is a bit of a liability in this Arsenal team. He just doesn't seem to work in the system, does he? What's your favourite Christmas dish? Says Sidant. Christmas dinner. Christmas dinner. Here's a good start bench sell. Start bench sell, VAR, international breaks, or United dressing room leaks. Well, if I had the opportunity here, I cannot take one, not take one from the team and get rid of international breaks. I'd have to get rid of international breaks, Scott. I hate them. Absolutely hate them. Oh, Charlie Smith wants me to talk about Simon Hooper. Check out the podcast, Simon. Charlie, it's on there. Join the podcast revolution. Goldbridge Saves Football. It's a fantastic one this week. Not my words, the words of somebody in the chat 20 minutes ago. But we're nearly at half time here, and we've got to give Luton a bit of credit. Somebody's just said either or, heart attack or stroke. I mean, this is what these chats are like. It's incredible. Let him speak, Simon. Says let him speak, Simon. What's your prediction for the game now? Says Lewis. I think Arsenal will get the win at some point. They've got. I mean, the great thing is you expect Arsenal to win comfortably, and then if it's 1-1 at half time, Luton just grow more and more in confidence. But I still expect Luton will win, but they've got to. Arsenal will win, but they're gonna have to work for it now. What's your favourite Christmas song, says Football Fanatics? Oh, I'm a big fan of Power of Love by Frankie Goes to Hollywood, and also I quite like Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. I'm not saying they're the best songs in the world, but they're just the songs that make me feel Christmassy. I think Band-Aid's probably the best one. Lovely play by Saka. Cross comes in. Jesus, goal. That is Arsenal. That is absolutely fantastic. It all starts from a fantastic pass by Saka into what I presume is Ben White, dinks the cross in, and Jesus is there. It was Ben White. It all starts from a lovely ball by Saka. Jesus on the overlap, dinks the cross to the centre of the goal, and there's Jesus to just leap up and head it in right before half-time, and that is the perfect time for Arsenal to score. Luton will have been desperate to get to half-time. You're not going to. It's 2-1. Tom says it's game over. Well, it's not game over because Luton have shown that they can come back. But it's just lovely play. Watch the ball by Saka here. 1-2 with White. Again, it's naive defending from Luton. And the cross is so good by Ben White, though. I mean, I'd score that. It's right on Jesus' trajectory and flight path. Landed. Look at that. Lovely cross. You know it's a goal before it hits his head. So it's a good goal from Arsenal as well. I mean, it's so the best goals sometimes are so simple, and it's a little bit like the weekend. The two goals that they scored were really well constructed, and that was well constructed there. No points for Saka on that one, but he had a massive part to play in it. What they call a second assist, where it's not you don't get the assist, you get the pass before it. 5 minutes have been added here. Lots of yellow cards being given out. JJJ says start bench sell, diabetes, high cholesterol, or asthma. Yeah, I'm not answering these because they're offensive, and you know you've got to be careful. I mean, as I said, Wallace says the Darkness Christmas song "Don't Let the Bells End" was a banger. I've not, you never hear that, do you? It's sort of, it's not like the Darkness of bloody Gary Glitter because he had a Christmas song. I mean, what have the Darkness done? They never put that song on. Why is that? There must be a story behind that. I know what song you're on about. I think it is quite Christmassy, but you never hear about it. Did you watch the GOAT win his 8th UK Championship on Sunday? Snooker Watchalong for the World Championship final, says Ben. I didn't get to watch it, mate, actually. I forgot. And I normally like watching the UK Championship because it's just before Christmas. What do you have for dinner? Football fanatics, what I had for dinner tonight was nice, but it's probably one of the most unglamorous midweek dinners you can have. We've all done it. Pasta, bake, and garlic bread. Uninspiringly effective. Pasta bake to the football world is basically Dan Burn. Some of you will have had lasagna, which to me is the Lionel Messi of food. Some of you might have had sausage mash and gravy, which for me is fantastic Declan Rice. But I had pasta bake, which I've got no problems with it, but it's certainly it's Dan Burn. Let him speak, Simon says, don't get mad, but can you please replace Will from the podcast with someone else? I don't really rate him. I will get mad. That's very inoffensive, and I love Will. You're basically bullying somebody there. It's not nice. Hazard or all of United's current wingers, says Electrics. Well, yeah. Jimmy has just done the most weird start bench sell collection I've ever had. Basically, he says start bench sell, Boris Johnson, Gary Neville, or Coldplay. I'd sell Johnson, I'd bench Neville, and I'd start Coldplay. I actually quite like Coldplay. I know it's very boring and middle-aged, but yeah, I quite like them. Another corner for Luton. No, I'll tell you what, I thought he was going to get his head on it there. That's where Luton can cause problems. Mark, if you had to support one of these three teams, Blackburn, Burnley or Preston, who would it be, says James Flynn. Blackburn, Burnley or Preston? Preston. It would be Preston. I've always quite liked the name Preston North End. And I think they've got a good history, haven't they? Not that I like old things. I'm not Wayne Rooney. What a pasta bake. What's a pasta bake? Says Murug. Well, it's pasta baked. No, there's more to it than that. Basically, you cook your pasta, you put it in a sauce, and then you probably put a bit of cheese on the top, and then you put it in the oven, and it bakes. Some pasta bakes are better than others. Mine today was like tomato and tuna in the sauce. A good pasta bake is like a bolognese. That's nice. People are getting very creative now. Dewey says, these could, by all means, I know people clip me up. These are gold for TikTok. I don't know what happens on TikTok, but these are very good. These are very good. I could imagine these doing very, very well as a short clip. So Dewey says, start, bench, sell, Alison Hammond, Ollie Murs, or Stoke. Well, I'm definitely selling Alison Hammond. We came into contact a few years ago, and it wasn't pleasurable. Nothing like that, just personality clash. So I'm selling Alison Hammond. No, you're back on the bench, Alison Hammond. I'm selling Ollie Murs. Bloody hell, I've just read it again. Ollie Murs, yeah, well done for having a career. I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. I've never been so shocked. So Ollie Murs, you're off. Alison Hammond on the bench, and I'll start Stoke because Stoke is considerably better than Hammond and Murs. Yeah, good one. There's a goal in this for Luton. Well, it's half time. It's half time, Simon. It's half time here, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal. They've deserved it, but Luton are hanging about there. They've got a couple of yellow cards, but they've done okay. In the other game, it's still 1-0 to Wolves, which is very disappointing. I did hope that Wolves would fill their boots against Burnley, who, although they beat Sheffield United at the weekend, are still shit. So, yeah, Wolves are winning 1-0. But I had hoped they might win 2 or 3. Start, bench, sell as managers and players. Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard. Well, I think they're all shit managers at the moment. And I think they'd all agree with that at the moment. So on playing ability, I will sell Lampard, bench Gerrard, and start Rooney. Thank you, Cag. That was quite a good one. You worried about Chelsea tomorrow, says AG. No. I think I get withdrawal symptoms from football. If Man United haven't played for 3 or 4 days, I'm like, when are we playing? So yeah, I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. Thank you. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right hand corner. You're very welcome on That's Football, all of you. Got a very busy day coming up on Saturday on this channel. A very busy day in general, actually. We start with Liverpool Crystal Palace at 12:30. Then I'm on the United stand for Man United Bournemouth. Then I'm back on here for Aston Villa Arsenal. And then it's Saturday night. So and then on Sunday we've got Spurs Newcastle. So it's another big weekend of action in the Premier League. But we're only just starting midweek here as well. There's real opportunities for teams to make hay. But please do subscribe. Get involved with That's Football. You're all very, very welcome. Bottom right-hand corner to do that. And let's have a look what people are saying in the chat. Getting some interesting win, lose or draws. Start, bench or sell. I've got one for you. Let's see what the chat have got to say this. Start, bench or sell. I haven't got one for you. I've just completely had a brain blank. It was a bit rude. No, that's too personal. I can't do that one. No, I'll come back with one. I had one ready, but I just realised I don't want to get into too much trouble. Start, bench, sell. Cave, Luckhurst or Dawson, says Raheith. I couldn't give a shit. Should we just sell them all? Will Angry Ginge be at the Christmas show, says Liam. I wasn't planning on him being there because he's very busy at the moment. I mean, I'll ask him if he's about. He's more than welcome to come. Arsenal versus Luton. Are you really this bored, Mark? Says Big Brain. You know what? You know what compelled me to do a watch along tonight? Having a chat with you lot. That was basically it. But also, I think it's the international break. I still feel traumatised by the international break. So Tuesday night, there's a game of football I can watch. I'll watch it. Give it 2 or 3 weeks. I wouldn't be watching this game. But I still feel with the international break, I'm traumatised. So yes, I am here to do it. That's basically the reason. Start, bench, sell, Rashford, Martinelli or Sterling, says CC. Well, at the moment, even as a United fan, I've got to sell Rashford. I'd bench Martinelli and I'd probably start Sterling at the moment on form. But it would be between Martinelli and Sterling. In fact, let's do a poll there. Let's do a poll. Either or for you to vote on. Sterling or Martinelli. And we'll do winner stays on. We haven't done that for ages. So we're going to do either or, winner stays on. Why is Roberto Martinez and Alan Shearer wearing the same fucking outfit? They look like a couple of prats. You ever seen that film Twins? With Danny DeVito and Arnie. They look like them. Scrap the international break and 3 p.m. blackout, says Jack. Yes, please do listen to the podcast. It came out today. We're talking all about this new TV deal, blackouts for the 3 p.m. games, and the title race and a load more. So please do, if you're not aware of Goldbridge Saves Football, it's growing the same way this grew, organically. And yeah, get involved and be an ultra. Thank you very much for that. 61% vote for Martinelli, so it looks like he might be staying on. Will these streaming platforms take over all the football eventually? Well, apparently Amazon stops in a year or two. Start, bench, sell, Jason Bourne, James Bond or Ethan Hunt. Sell Ethan Hunt. I don't really know who he is. Is it Mission Impossible, which I don't watch? Out of respect, I'll bench Jason Bourne and start James Bond, but I do love the Bourne trilogy. Yeah. I've never watched Mission Impossible, which is funny because I don't mind Tom Cruise films. He might be a prat in real life, but I don't mind him. What games will you be streaming on Friday, Mark? Says Big Brain. There isn't any. Yeah, I haven't watched the Bourne films in a while, Lee, so I think I'm going to revisit those. Nathan Harper says Bourne is awful. Don't pick on Nathan. It's all about taste. You know, What did I say about Isaac Newton? Start, bench, sell Enzo, Bruno, Gomes or Rice. That's a good one. That's a good one from Gark. Start, bench, sell. We can all play this game. Start, bench, sell Enzo, Bruno, Rice. I would... Bruno Gomes we're talking about here. That's probably... I think this is probably one of the best start, bench, sells we've had of the night. Start, bench, sell Enzo Fernandez, Bruno Gomes, Declan Rice. Oh, I tell you. Well, I won't sit on the fence. I refuse to do it. So I would have to sell somebody very good here. I will sell Enzo. I will bench Gomes, and I will start Rice. But you could mix them up. You could change them all. Mitchell says start, bench, sell Hitler, Stalin, Gemma Collins. Oh, God. Bloody hell. Andrew says start, bench, sell Maldini, Vidic and Ramos. Well, Maldini would start. Ramos would be on the bench and Vidic would be sold, I think, if I'm being completely honest. Although, actually, I'd like to put Vidic on the bench and sell Ramos. I'll change my mind. I do like Vidic. Conjecture on Reddit still suggests the Darkness song, Christmas song, was another one banned for lyrics. Bell's End is used, means not something to some, not to others. This is comment of the evening. So we've been talking about your favourite Christmas songs. Tell us why and what it is. But somebody mentioned a song by Darkness. Christmas time, don't let the bells end. Christmas time. And you never hear it. You never hear it. And I was saying the Darkness haven't done anything wrong. Gary Glitter had a Christmas song. We all know what he did. Don't ever put it on. I can remember what that song was, and don't put it in my head because it's very, very, very rememberable and irritating. But the Darkness haven't done anything like that. So why is their song not being played? Well, Blazing Ace has been on Reddit and he's found us the answer. This is the genius of the community. He's saying it sounds like it's been banned because it says Bell's End at the end. It's political correctness gone mad. This woke culture needs putting to sleep. That is ridiculous. It's a Christmas banger with Queen vibes, and we don't hear it anymore because they say don't let the bells end, talking about Christmas bells not ending because they love Christmas. And some prat out there has said it sounds a little bit like Bell End, so let's not play it. You know what I'd say? You are a bell end. We're playing it. Oh, this world. Lord Loss says start, bench or sell Shearer, Kane or Henry. Henry. In their prime, I will start Henry. I'm going to go controversial here. I think Kane's better than Shearer. I've said it. Clip me up all you like. I've been thinking this for a while. I think Harry Kane's better than Alan Shearer. I think he's a better player. I do. Shearer was fantastic, and I'm old enough to remember Shearer, but I think Harry Kane's overall game is better. I think he's better on the link-up. I think he's a fantastic finisher. There you go. There's a controversial topic for you. Has Harry Kane now surpassed Alan Shearer? Not for goal records and not for trophies, but he's scored more goals for England. Longevity for England's there. Look, I remember Shearer. Fantastic player. Will always be remembered as a fantastic player. But Harry Kane's got more to his game. Yeah. I'm with Wan. I think Kane's a better all-rounder. Remember where you heard it first. That's football community. And in fact, let's do a poll. Let's Martinelli, you're coming back in a bit to take on the next person. You beat Sterling, but we're going to do an exclusive here. Either or, Shearer or Kane. Has the tide started to turn enough, or is it still a ridiculous thing to say? Only you can decide. Start, bench, sell Benzema, Suarez or Lewandowski, says the Beast. Well, I would put Lewandowski on the pitch, Benzema on the bench, and Suarez can piss off. I, 'cause, 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 ' Start, bench, sell. Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson or Fury. Well, Tyson's the best. Lewis against Fury. I think Lewis beats him, to be honest. It's always difficult in the heavyweight division because Fury could beat Lewis, but I'd definitely put Mike Tyson as starting. I mean, he's just an incredible boxer. Miles says Van Persie, Drogba or Torres. Probably say Drogba's the best out of those three. Van Persie second and Torres third. Schneider, Kaka or Del Piero. Snyder's getting sold. Probably Del Piero on the bench. Kaka starts, Josh. Anyway, we don't just have to do football ones. I liked the other ones. They were quite good. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. I'm never voting for Suarez. I don't like Suarez. Leave it at that. You know why I don't like him. Let's just leave it at that. You know, let's leave it at that. I don't know whether I can read that. Basically, somebody said, what's got better suction, a Dyson, a Hoover, or Lana Rhodes? I mean, I just think it's just very disrespectful to Dyson. They are quite clearly the world leader in suction engines. Harry Kane is battering Alan Shearer here. I mean, I think this is headline news. You know, instead of making up stories about leaks from dressing rooms, this is a story of our time. Alan Shearer or Harry Kane, 71% of you are going with Harry Kane. And guess what? I'm one of that 71%. I actually agree with you. This is something we've discovered tonight as a community. Most people would always say Shearer is better than Kane. But I actually think there is an intelligent debate to be had that Kane is better than Shearer, especially if you watch them play. Shearer was very of his time as well. I think in the modern game, Shearer probably wouldn't work. But I don't like to use that because in the modern game, Gazza wouldn't have the fitness, but he's a brilliant player. But I think Shearer's finishing ability was excellent. Excellent. And his hold-up play was excellent. But Harry Kane can do both of those things, and he's actually quite a good dribbler, but his passing and creativity is on a different level to Shearer. So Harry Kane's better than Shearer. There you go. Get that up on TikTok. Start, bench, sell. Would you rather start, bench, sell or polar bear discussion? It's a secret. I love talking about animals. I love talking about animals, especially polar bears because they live in the snow, and that's Christmassy. Polar bears are Christmassy for me. Because they live in the snow. Although there'd be nothing Christmassy about spending Christmas with a polar bear. It wouldn't be just snow. They'd be red, and you wouldn't be sharing a red wine. He'd be drinking your red wine. Massacre. Be an absolute bloodbath. Start, bench, sell. Peppa Pig, Bluey. Or what's that? I'm gonna make something else up. Peppa Pig, Bluey, or what else does Seb watch? Actually, I don't know whether anyone's ever watched it. Loud House, that's quite good. But between Peppa Pig and Bluey, this is like Messi and Ronaldo for me. Peppa Pig or Bluey. This will go on TikTok. They love this niche shit. Oh. You know, Peppa Pig's got levels, subtle levels that plays to adults. Like Daddy Pig, you can tell. But then Bluey purposely does it. Oh. I'm going to have to go with Peppa Pig. I've got to go with Peppa Pig. Yeah. Bluey's very good, though. Very, very good. Well done to the Australians who do a lot of good programmes. Are we ready to go for the second half here? Yes, we're up and running. Bloody hell. Talking about fucking Bluey. Not Blowy. That's something completely different. You filth. This game's been going on for bloody ages. No, it's not. Don't worry. Don't worry. 45 and 18. Is there anything childish that you still watch at Christmas, actually? And what I mean by that, is there any like cartoons that you used to watch as a kid that you still watch? I remember watching a brilliant Charlie Brown when I was about 8, and I've never been able to find it. Yogi Bear Christmas show. Yeah, I remember watching that a few years ago. You know, there was a He-Man Christmas show. I think She-Ra was in it. I had a She-Ra. She-Ra, He-Man. I used to have Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, which don't start. Like, Snake Mountain's got nothing to do with porn. It'd be a good name for a porno. There must be a film called Snake Mountain that's a porno. Snake Mountain was Skeletor's base, and then Castle Grayskull was He-Man's base. And I used to have all these He-Man figures for Christmas, and then they brought this She-Ra out. It was basically He-Man as a woman, and not like He-Man decided he wanted to be a woman. He wasn't like going through the change or anything like that. It was literally. I think they were related. I don't know the backstory of She-Ra, but anyway, I woke up one Christmas morning, and don't worry, it's nothing great like that. There she was. No, I opened my presents up, and I had Orko, which was this wizard Pratt, and had a She-Ra doll figure, which is massively confusing when you're 6 years of age. Would you rather be stuck in a tent with an anaconda on the white powder or 5 randy badgers? Mitchell, you need to get help. You need to get help, Mitchell. Daniel says, start, bench, sell, Oasis, Blur, or the Beatles. Well, before we do that, can Luton get back into this game, everybody? I think they can. I genuinely think they can. I think Arsenal have shown Luton an air of respect here. And at 2-1, they're allowing Luton to get up the pitch. So I think Luton can, probe and get set pieces. You never know. And here they are. Andros Townsend has won a corner. There we go. That's how it works. Start, bench, sell, Oasis, Blur, the Beatles. Very easy. Sell the Beatles, bench Blur, start Oasis. To me, the Beatles are a bit overrated. I mean, there used to be a Scouse band called Cast. Can you remember Cast? Sandstorm? I got a sandstorm blowing in my head. I think they're a better band from Liverpool than the Beatles. I think the Lightning Seeds, who sang Three Lions and The Life of Riley. In fact, The Life of Riley is probably the best song to come out of Liverpool. Beatles lovers are going to say you're absolutely wrong, but I think the Beatles are overrated. Top Gear, The Office, or Gavin and Stacey, says Jack. Corner comes in for Luton. He's done it! He's done it! He's done it from a corner again. I'm a genius. I'm right about the Beatles and I'm right about Luton. Luton have done it again. They've done it again. 2-2. What a game we've got here. And people said, why are you doing this game? We love football, that's why. We love football. Jack, we'll come back to that. Top Gear, The Office, or Gavin and Stacey. Keep that in mind. It's so predictable. The set piece kings, says the chat. I can't speak. Cross comes in, header goes in. You've probably got to look at Raya a little bit here. You've got to look at Raya a lot here. He's got caught under the cross. This is a keeping error. I was wondering if Arsenal were going to appeal for some sort of foul. That will never be a foul because he's got the jump on Raya. That's bad keeping by Raya. He's come for the cross. Well, I say it's bad keeping by Raya. He's just been out-jumped. It's a very good header, and it's another corner from Luton. And look, football's... football's such a simple game. It's such a simple game. Andros Townsend shoots where he can't score, hits an Arsenal player, goes for a corner, they score from a corner. The Luton manager will be saying that, try and win corners. And Arsenal, wow, they're not dealing well with it. Do you rate the Wombats, the band, or the animal? Says Max. Neither. Football Fanatic had an Indian takeaway. Mate, I respect that. Tuesday night takeaway. You know, when I was a kid, if I'd said when I was a kid, can we have a takeaway on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday, I'd probably get the whip. It's true. In the 80s, you could hit your kids. I don't know why people pretend it didn't happen. I'm not saying you got whipped, but anybody who was a kid in the 80s, did you get hit? Yes, you bloody did. And I don't need counselling. It was standard practice. I remember going round my friend's house. He was cheeky to his mum, and she just smacked him right across the arse. He didn't cry. He was just humiliated. And it is humiliating. In the 80s, a slap on the arse was a punishment. There's a lot of people in a lot of chat groups who take it as a enjoyment these days. It's one of the many good things from the 80s that are now banned. Hitting kids and sexism. Arsenal want a penalty. They're not going to get one for that. They've got a push here. Things from the 80s that are banned. Smacking. Sexism. Philip Schofield. It's a good topic. It can be. I mean, I'm not saying Philip Schofield's the same as all that. I'm just saying he has been banned. That's never a penalty in a million years. If anything, it's a foul on Andros Townsend. Oh, then again, from that angle, it looks bad. Oh, he's given a free kick. Or no, he's not. That did not look like a penalty to me on the first look. Smoking in pubs was 90s, Jake. Who's this referee? He looks like a bloody accountant. Yeah, to me that could have been a red card for Havertz. Look. It's a weird one. It could have been a penalty and then it could have been a red card. I mean, it's neither really, but smoking on airplanes, I don't remember that. Mark, do you think anyone's ever been battered to death with a cucumber? Mate, probably. I think that I spoke to when I was in police, I spoke to some paramedics and they told me some of the stuff they've seen, and that leads me to believe that anything you can imagine has probably happened. Apparently, a light bulb up your bum is not unheard of in casualty. I couldn't keep a straight face. I couldn't. But no, it's a true story. Apparently, people going to casualty with a light bulb up their bum is not unusual. There's a very good episode of The Royal Family where this gets mentioned. But apparently it isn't, which is exactly how I got talking to this paramedic about it. And they said no. And sometimes it can be a lot more weird than a light bulb. And I was like, what? Like an umbrella or something? Well, I was like, that's disgusting. But what would you do if you went to the casualty with a light? Well, the question is how it got there, of course. But what would you say if? And look, none of us want to be in this position. But if you had a light bulb stuck up your bum and you go to casualty, there's got to be a story about how it happened. Oh, I went to turn the lamp off and I slipped. Oh God, I don't know. I can't speak. Sour Slayer says, oh, well, wait, Luton are on the attack here. I mean, Arsenal got to be very careful here. Liverpool drew here. I mean, look, there's always a danger this was going to happen. You predict that Arsenal will win by a lot. But what you don't forget is that Luton will get relegated because they're not good enough. But they're still Luton Town. And, you know, if Luton were in the Championship and they were playing Arsenal in the FA Cup, they'd be inspired and it could be a banana skin. So it's not impossible that Luton get something here. They're massive underdogs and Arsenal should win, but Luton are clearly going to play their life off, aren't they? Sour Slayer says, fun and weird fact, Man United have won a Premier League title every year that a new Grand Theft Auto has been released. So 2025, you know what will happen. It's a true fact, says Sour. There we go. What are your thoughts on dogging? Me and my dad love it, says Mitchell. Mate, that's too far. You definitely need help. And Mark, if you did play in the Premier League and you scored, describe your ultimate goal in detail, says Havard Edge. For me, I think if I'm imagining my ultimate goal, if I had to, if somebody said you can play one game in the Premier League and you score, pick your goal, I think I'm looking at something like Robin van Persie from Rooney, over the shoulder, bang. It's always a volley, isn't it? It's always a volley. Garnacho's last week at Everton, something like that. Or a diving header. A proper diving header where the cross comes in, you're nowhere near it, and you just fly at it. Luton have scored again! I don't believe it! I don't believe it! It's not a MasterCard, it's a Barkley card. It's 3-2 and it's Ross Barkley. Arsenal are losing here. They're losing to Luton Town. It's really happening. This has been gifted from Santa. It's 3-2 to Luton. Unbelievable stuff going on here. Luton are winning. Ross Barkley rolling back the clock. And Arsenal are in trouble. 3 goals conceded here. Let's take a look at this. Arteta's looking worried. You can't win a title if you don't win at Luton. Everyone will say that. But it's weak defensively from Arsenal. And then Barkley's on the ball. Rice misses the intercept. Andros Townsend into Ross Barkley. Yeah, keeper shouldn't get beaten from there as well. Raya's having a bloody nightmare tonight. An absolute nightmare. You should not get beat from there. (3-2) Luton. Oh dear. Well, I tell you what, we're going to get entertainment now. Hey, says Anthony Martial leaving United next summer. Would you like to see United sign Hwang from Wolves to replace him? He's 27 and he can play anywhere. I think he's a good player. And Mike says, what's your thoughts on the Amazon coverage, Mark? Surely the Prem will go down this route at some point with the ability to watch whatever game. I like it. I like the fact that you can click and get your stats on the screen as well, which we provide you through OneFootball, which you can download for free. Get all your latest breaking football news from OneFootball. Scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. But I'd love to know what the stats are for Raya, because I don't think Luton have had that many shots. But full time to Wolves, 1-0 by the way. Hwang Hee-chan with the goal. Luton have only had 4 shots, but they've scored 3 goals. Arsenal are going to have to make changes. I said it in the first half, and I will say it again. I do not think that the Odegaard-Havertz scenario works. Football, eh? Football, eh? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Well, fasten your seatbelts for the final half an hour of this game. Arsenal losing 3-2 to Luton. Oh, I missed the goal. Oh, I'm an idiot. You know what I was doing? I was sending a WhatsApp. I was in a WhatsApp group with the United Stand. Everyone's taking the piss out of Arsenal. And I'm there all smug. And I sit down and I go, well, Arsenal are in trouble. What are they going to do in the final half an hour? And I've missed the fucking goal. Havertz as well. Oh, just cancel yourself, Goldbridge. That last minute is horrific. I don't think Havertz and Odegaard work. Oh, what are Arsenal going to do to get back in the game? It's already 3-3. Pratt. Well, that's a big goal for Arsenal. Big goal for Arsenal, that is. Not only because it's Havertz, but to reply quickly. Still got to win the game, though. Still got to win the game. When's Cobra Kai out, Aiden? What a mug. I'm a fucking mug. I am a mug. I'm a bloody mug, mate. Start spreading the news. I tell you what. I've played the game. I've bloody played the game. This game here. Have you ever played this? What a game that is. Hotel. Oh, yeah. They've changed the box since I had it as a kid. But that's a cracking game. I've played that game. Oh, and I tell you what else I've got as well. Look at this. Would you look at that? Vintage. Not a porn category. 2002, 2001 Sabutio edition. Forgot I had it. Oh, well, I'm getting excited now. Oh, there's a disc in here. Debbie Does Dallas uncut. That's a brilliant place to hide your porn, in your Sabutio box. It's not really. It's that. I've got the flags. Never even used the flags. Scoreboard. Look at that. What's the score? Chelsea 8, Arsenal 2. Aston Villa, look. See? They went home in. Yeah. Aston Villa. Oh, it's my United team as well. Roy Keane. That's all I've got. I've got Villa and Arsenal. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This is great. I'm playing this tomorrow. Remember the goalkeepers? Better get back to the game. A little walk down memory lane. Oh, look what I've got here. Man City. You know what we can do with them? In the bloody bin. Get out. Never play with you lot. That's what the FA should do. Kick you out. Right, back to the football. That should be a regular section in the show, I think. What's that up there? Oh, yeah, I know what that is. Do you ever put stuff on shelves and you don't realise it's there? I didn't realise that was there. Goldbridge plays Sabutio as a video. Oh, yeah. Tell you what, it would be better than anything you've seen Pep and Klopp do. It's like total football. Everyone's on the halfway line, holding hands. What camera do I use? Sony A7 III. It's quite an old camera, but it does the job. Zinchenko's coming on. So we've got 25 minutes here for Arsenal. Look, at the end of the day, if Arsenal win this game, fair play, we've been entertained. We would not have been entertained if it had been 3-0 to Arsenal. Luton have played their part. This game's actually been a really good watch. Thank you very much to Arsenal and Luton. Do you think we could ever get gardening with Goldbridge, says Mitchell? Maybe in 20 years. Imagine that. That's where I'm. When I've given up on football, you'll find me in the garden. These bloody weeds! Piss off! Look at the size of these cucumbers. Right, nice ball out wide. A lot of people talking about the Man United game against Chelsea tomorrow. Look, I'll be watching that game on the United stand because I'm a Man United fan. But I've got to be honest with you, the game of the week for me is Villa-Man City. And I can't bloody watch it because it's on at the same time. Which is why I think, and this is how the footballing brain works, isn't it? I think if I watched Villa-Man City, Villa will win. But I think if I don't watch it, Man City will win. Have you ever felt like that about football? If you it's like going to the toilet when it's a big game. I really do think if I watch that game, Villa will win. But if I don't watch it, I think Man City will win. I don't think it's an uncommon feeling amongst football fans. The fact that you think if you watch it, you've got more of a chance. I could dual screen it, yeah, but I won't be able to keep a proper eye on it. I will have it on as well. Oh, I didn't do that start bench sell. What was it? Gavin and Stacey. I can't remember the other two now. Can anyone remember what I was meant to do? Because it was a super chat. Immortal says, for me, it's opposite. When my team isn't playing, they win. When I don't watch my team, they win. Start, bench, sell. That's football. The United stand. Goldbridge saves football, says the Superfly. Start, bench, sell. Well, that's a horrible question, Superfly. So start, bench, sell. This channel, United stand, or my podcast. Oh. No, you cannot. You will rank them in top 3. Actually, I wouldn't get rid of the podcast. It's only just started, and I love That's Football, and I can't get rid of United stand. So I'd start them all. A better front 3 than. Hold on a minute. Saka into Jesus. Oh no, that's all right. No, I'm not. People saying get rid of the podcast because it's the newest. I really enjoy the podcast. I'm really enjoying it, and there's some stuff coming up with the podcast in the new year, which I think will take it to an even higher level. You want to be early adapters of the podcast because then you can say I was there at the start, and if you want to be there from the start, the link's in the live chat. Give it a download now and listen to it later, or listen to it while you're watching this, which will probably give you a headache because it's going to be me talking twice. Just remember, Arsenal aren't winning here. There's still 20 minutes to go. Chris, did you see Andy Tate video agreeing with you? What, the one who was in prison? Or the one that fell off? Mark, how does it feel to be a pioneer and watch everyone copy your blueprint brick by brick, says Parker. I'm very privileged by that, and I think we should be very privileged by that as a chat. I mean, literally every watch-along copies what we do. Which I think is a bit of a shame in a way because, it's like Sky copying BT or TNT, isn't it? I mean, people should come up with ideas of their own because I'd never just go and copy somebody else's idea. It's just not the way my brain works as a creative. But on the other hand, it's massively complementary to us and what we've built. So, I have to respect that. But I also think the thing I think about that is that when I started this, I had a family and a job, and it wasn't making any money, and I didn't expect it to make any money. It started as a hobby, and it was fucking hard for about 4 years. And I think a lot of people who just come in and copy, they don't have to do the groundwork. They literally just go, right, I want this here, I'm going to talk like this. But that's just me being resentful of the fact that they didn't have to put the groundwork in. They're just, basically riding off our shoulders. But that's fine, Look at the Britpop era. Noel Gallagher probably feels the same. Oasis came along, and then suddenly there was about 40 bands doing exactly the same thing. And then it all just shut down. Start, bench, sell. John Cena, Randy Orton, or Triple H. I'll tell you what, I quite like this because although I don't really watch much wrestling, Seb is getting into wrestling and he loves John Cena. So I'd have to put start John Cena, bench Triple H, and sell Randy Orton. Van der Ven, Martinez or Ben White, says Zed Music. Well, it's a bit unfair because Martinez has been injured for most of the season. Luton with a long shot. I mean, I've been very impressed with Van der Ven. I'd watch a 65-year-old Goldbridge occasionally calling your garden growing vegetables and complaining about Faz digging him up, says Rob. Thanks, pal. Royden says, everyone's been saying that Man United only beat lower ranked teams. If Luton wins this, that's out the window. Mate, they're giving it a bloody good go here. They're giving it a very good go. Arteta will know, though. You can't... Someone just said in the chat there, it's not terrible for Arsenal if they draw. They're still top of the league. But in the bigger picture of trying to be top at Christmas or trying to even win the league, you can't drop points at Luton. And, you know, Man City will be licking their lips because they play in Luton at the weekend, knowing that if Arsenal haven't won here, both Liverpool and Arsenal haven't won at Luton. So over a season, you do look at what everyone else has done everywhere else. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this poll. We've had nearly 12,000 votes, Shearer or Kane, and it's still going. 67% voting for Kane. Mark, what weapon do you need to beat a polar bear, says DJ. I reckon I could do it with a samurai sword. I've always said that. Speaking like a bloke that's had this conversation all the time. I'm speaking like I'm a bloody plumber. You know, this is what you need to do. No, I reckon with, well, Akos says a gun, of course a gun, but if I can't choose anything that projects, like a crossbow or a gun, then a samurai sword. I could do it with a samurai sword. You've got to be brave. You've got to be brave because it's going to come at you very hard and very big. All you're going to see is white stuff coming all at you. And you just got to go, hold your ground and... Although with my hand at the moment, I don't know whether I could grip it. Got Point says, I still believe the polar bear takes you. All right. Imagine... I'm trying to think who's quite hard. And what about Conor McGregor with a samurai sword against the polar bear? Would you back him? Forget me. Like, do you think a human with a samurai sword can beat a polar bear? That's my point. I really do think it could. I mean, don't give it to the bloody one of the Spice Girls. You know, samurai sword, Victoria Beckham, polar bear. It's a bloodbath, and it ain't the polar bear that's having a bloodbath. Or samurai sword and Raheem Sterling and a polar bear. I think the polar bear wins, but. Give it to somebody who can fight, and I think it would win. Doesn't Pep Guardiola falling over after Tottenham equalised remind you of Van Gaal falling over in 2016, says Claydon Plays? Not really. Beat polar bear with a pipe, maybe a North Pole, says Blazing Ace. Thing that makes me laugh about this game is they keep going. This is the media for you, right? They think they're doing a bloody script for Hollyoaks. So they've been to Ramsdale about 10 times this half, and they keep showing the mistakes by Raya, and they keep going to Ramsdale, right? Arteta's not going to drop Raya for Ramsdale. He's made it very clear that Raya is his #1 goalkeeper, but the media just won't let it go. Like, Raya's had a crap game tonight. There's no doubt about it. But Arteta is not going to drop Raya. He's going to stick with Raya. He's not going to pick his team based on what the media thinks. Odegaard. No, not enough on that. Rashford with a samurai sword versus polar bear. The way he's playing at the moment, he'd probably miss. But what's really interesting is that if you think about Marcus Rashford sprinting as quick as he can, a polar bear would catch him. Here we go. We've got a so-called nature specialist. Will Arnott says there's no chance you'd win with a samurai sword. Even a shotgun would struggle. Oh, come on, Will. Now you're talking nonsense. Here's Saka into the box. Goes on his right foot. Wins a corner. A shotgun would not struggle with a polar bear. It's a bloody bear, not a Terminator. I'm telling you now, if you stood there with a shotgun and a polar bear ran at you and you waited it out, the only thing you're panicking about is if it backfires. Boom. Shakalak. It's a polar bear milkshake. I don't think there's an animal in society, not society. I don't think there's an animal on this planet that if you hit it with a shotgun from a metre away, it's going down. Polar bear, you're going down. Rabbit, obliterated. Camel, you're going down. Lion, you're going down. Over the bar from Trossard. A rhino, you're going down. An elephant, you're going down. They've got thick skin. Oh, look, being stubborn isn't going to help you when a shotgun. No, it would. An elephant cannot resist it. I'm talking about a metre away, right in the face, dead. Rick says Liverpool will destroy Arsenal with a fit squad. Corner, Saka. In it comes. Arsenal won't score from a corner and don't score from a corner. There's 13 minutes to go. Ahmed wants Arsenal to drop points. LRM says the chat have clearly not seen what a shotgun can do. A whale? Dead. Moose, no way. Oh, this is nonsense. Can elephants withstand bullets? Depends on the caliber and the shot placement. If you're a very good shot with one bullet from a rifle, you could kill an elephant with one shot. Well, let's just pretend I'm a good shot. Shout for a penalty in the chat. Should be a penalty, says John. Well, that should be a penalty, really. He's pulling his arm. I think it's going to be a penalty. This is going to be a penalty, I think. There's an old weapon called a deal. Though that would, says Mike. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That's not a penalty. That is a joke. I mean, Arsenal, you've been robbed again there. I'm not emotionally invested, but you've been robbed there because you think about the Rodri one with Højlund in the Manchester derby, and then you look at that. That's a penalty. He's pulling his arm. He's pulled him away from winning the header. Whether you think it's soft or not, you've got to compare within the same season what's been given for a penalty or not. The Saka one was debatable. The Gabriel one's a penalty. I mean, look, if you're going to give penalties to Man City for Rodri diving, then you've got to give penalties for that. Penalty's not been given anyway. They've reviewed it on VAR and they haven't given it. David James says, I live in the small Canadian town where they filmed Rambo First Blood and black bears sometimes will go for a stroll down Main Street. I need to watch this film. I love it at Christmas. It's a cracking little film. I don't want to run out of time, David. Cockroach can survive nuclear bombs. That's surviving a shotgun, says Gems. It's not. They're not indestructible cockroaches, Gems. Like, they can be killed. Was it a penalty or not? Let's just get rid of the Kane poll because he's won. Start a poll. Was it a pen? Yes or no? Was it a pen? Was it a pen? Yes or no? Start the poll. No, not the Saka penalty. I'm talking about the one where the defenders pulled Gabriel away from the header. Mark, how could a pig kill a giraffe? I don't know, Steve. Dylan says, how come you don't drink Sneak anymore? Because we don't do the Twitch streams anymore. So I'm not going to drink Sneak at night. So I'm not I don't really stream at the time where I would drink an energy drink. So I wouldn't drink it in the morning and I wouldn't drink it in the evening. We've only got 10 minutes to go here. 3-3. 50-50 on the penalty as well. There will be a chance for Luton. Sorry, there may be a chance for Luton. There will be a big chance for Arsenal. Who've Arsenal got at the weekend? Villa. Oh, of course they've got Villa. Yeah. Arsenal needs a bloody win here. Because there's no guarantee that they're going to get points against Villa. Honestly, I always see Arsenal getting robbed, says Adith. There we go. Another corner, is it? Let's give it a goal kick. Yeah, I think he got that right. It was a goal kick as well. Looked it up. A shotgun would only deter a polar bear and you'd need a high caliber rifle to kill it, says Will. Bollocks. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. It's a bloody bear, Will. It's a bear. It's not a tank. If I'm stood there with a shotgun and I wait to the last minute as the polar bear gets close and goes rah, and I go boom, it's dead. It's going down. How many minutes do you think will get added on? At least 5. So we've got about another 10 here. Mr. C says, people are morons in the chat. It's a bear, not a bloody Terminator. Only 52% are saying it was a penalty for Arsenal. 48% saying not. I think it was a penalty. The way I look at things, I look at what we've seen this season. Whether I agree with it being a penalty or not is another matter. I do think it's soft. But the way I look at it is what's happened this season. Have we given penalties for that this season? Oh, yes, Jeffrey, we have. Specifically, Rodri, Hoyland, Manchester Derby, softer than a butterfly's fart penalty given on VAR review. So this is a title race. If you're giving penalties to title rivals for soft things, you've got to be consistent. Here's Saka into White. Edge of the box. Odegaard. Nishant says, Google employees are wondering why there's 15,000 people Googling, can a shotgun kill a polar bear? Polar bear. in less than a minute. Yeah, you know, they will look at that sort of stuff. We are a big audience. We literally can create confusion. Rahul, thanks for your super chat. Do you think Luton can survive, says Travis? No. No, I think they'll still go down. Declan Rice, but I think they might be getting another point here. Mark, did you call the United stand today? Call-in show, says Havard. No. Corner to Arsenal. No. I know what you're talking about. People are thinking that Terry who called in was me. No, I don't. I wouldn't do anything like that. I'm not consistent in my accent enough to be able to do something like that. Dr. David says Bear versus Mark with a shotgun poll. Oh my God, we've got a very close poll on a penalty here. Rahul, thank you very much for your super chat. Here's Odegaard. Lays it off. Trossard, just wide from distance. 87 minutes. You've got to be fair. Luton are good for a draw at the moment. Not just because it is 3-3, but because they deserve to be 3-3. It's 50-50 on the penalty. Right, I'm going to do the poll. People want the poll. I'm going to do the Bear poll. Right. Just out of interest, start the poll. Who wins? Goldbridge with shotgun. Polar bear. Nearly spelt it wrong. You know what? I was walking home about 6 months ago, drunk. Well, I wasn't even that drunk. I was walking home, and I heard a rustle in the trees. Not Russell Brand. And I in my head, I thought it was a polar bear, and I started running. At my age. Your mind can play tricks on you. Everything in my logic was like, there can't be a loose polar bear in the Midlands. And then I thought, well, I don't want to be the statistic that there is. You know, I don't want to be the headline. You know, YouTuber, unlucky YouTuber killed by polar bear. You know, don't want to be that. To be fair, someone said at least it wasn't a shark. If I'd have been walking home that night and I'd heard the Jaws theme tune, I still would have legged it. Even though logically a great white shark cannot get me when I'm walking on land 2 hours away from the sea. I'd still run. A lot of people surprised in the chat by how well Luton have done. I'm not surprised. I think they've treated it like a cup final. And as I said, if this was the FA Cup and Luton were in the Championship, you wouldn't write them off getting a point at home. And I think Luton have set up like it's a cup final. They won't be able to do this every week, but because it's Arsenal and because it's a massive game, they've played it on pure cup final vibes, and it's worked. We saw it sort of worked with Liverpool as well, although Liverpool did miss some sitters, didn't they? Vote Goldbridge in the poll, because if you don't, you're an idiot. That's all I'm going to say. You're a bloody idiot. There's only one winner in that game. I've played the game. Still got Havertz on. Luton are loving it. Do you think we'll get a winner? I don't know. Depends how long he's going to add on. 6 minutes. I thought there might be a little bit longer than that. I did. But Luton have gone back into that early survival mode here. I've played the game. Another corner here for Arsenal. About 5 minutes to go. Thanks everyone who's tuned in, by the way, tonight. Appreciate it. We've had a cracking show. Bit of football, bit of chat. Favourite section of the show? Probably the heart attack charades. Never thought we'd be talking about that, but... it's amazing what you hear through the week. Please do subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. And tomorrow night I'm on the United stand for Chelsea against Manchester United, of course. We will keep an eye on City against Villa as well. Cross comes in, cleared away. Mark, Aldi or Lidl, says Owen. I mean, I know we use Aldi more than we use Lidl. I don't know whether I think Aldi's better than Lidl, but I know we use Aldi more than we use Lidl. Oh, and please remember to check out the podcast. If you've not heard of Goldbridge Saves Football podcast, please give it a listen. More people who listen to it, they tend to quite like it. So give it a go. Links in the live chat. You can download it for later or just get it ready to listen after this. I think you'll be impressed. I think this week is probably our best podcast so far. We've only been doing it since September, probably August actually. But very good episode today talking about this new Premier League TV deal and why it's as damaging as VAR. It's really an interesting section. Give it a listen if you care about your football. Luton are going to get a winner, says Real Sigs. Do I think Saka will score? No. Who would your man of the match be? Well, who would your man of the match be? Fraser says, who would your man of the match be? But get in the chat, who would your man of the match be? I think you've probably got to give it to a Luton player, really. I mean, Ross Barkley's played well. And a lot of people are saying that in the chat. But I thought a fox was staring at me from a bush walking back from the pub, so I tried to see how close I could get to it. It was an upside down KFC bag, says DeMarc. Love it. Love it. Yeah, a lot of people saying Barkley for man of the match. There's still 2.5 minutes to go. This is a bad dropping of points for Arsenal. It was the same for Liverpool. It's fantastic for Luton. Respect them for getting the point if they get it. But it doesn't take anything away from the fact that this is 2 points drop for Arsenal. It was also 2 points drop for Liverpool. And remember, Man City are playing them at the weekend. I mean, are Man City really going to drop points at Luton like Liverpool and Arsenal? You don't think so, do you? Corner comes in from Arsenal. It's cleared, though. Only 2 more minutes to go. Dan says, who wins, Mark Goldbridge or Jeremy Clarkson after 5 trips to Asda? What are we doing after 5 trips to Asda? Here's Saka, dinks the cross. They're still in the box, though. Jesus tries to put a cross. I don't know why he tried to cross that. Goldbridge is against the polar bear is 50-50 at the moment, by the way. A lot of votes. I can't believe half this chat are thick. Which half? Well, the half that thinks a shotgun's not going to take a polar bear down. I mean, I can't believe it. Even if I shot it in its paw, it'd run off crying. People think polar bears are made of bloody metal. I reckon you'd kill a polar bear with a shotgun, but if you shot it in the ankle, do they have ankles? It'll run off. Owen says Indian or Chinese takeaway. How I'm feeling at the moment, I change like that all the time. on that. So, I don't know. I'll probably go with the Chinese right now. As I had an Indian at the weekend. It's going to be a draw. There's only 10 seconds to go here. What a point for Luton. Milk first or cereal first, says Dan. Cereal first. Odegaard. This is going to be the last attack. Zinchenko should have put the cross in. Odegaard will. And they've won it at the end. What a goal for Arsenal. It's Declan Rice. You can't believe it. Heartbreak for Luton. Literally last seconds of the game. It has to be last seconds of the game. It has to be the last kick of the game. Unbelievable here. Cross came in. Declan Rice. Luton won't believe they've conceded from a cross. They will even less believe that they've done it in the last second as well. That's heartbreak for Luton. That's like coming home and seeing your love of your life wife in bed with your best mate. That's terrible, unless you're into that sort of thing. I think there's a category for it. But that's heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak for Luton. I tell you who'll be very relieved. Very, very relieved. Raya. Raya will be very relieved that Rice has saved his skin, and Luton will just be, well, at the end of the day, it's a win. A win is a win for Arsenal, isn't it? And again, like we were talking about Fulham and Liverpool on Sunday, all right, Arsenal will probably say we'd want to be winning this game 3 or 4-0, but there's no offside there. Surely there's no offside there. I tell you what, this is VAR. Muller-Rice sales going to skyrocket, says Owen. I mean, I don't think he's offside, but you never know with VAR. Has he gone a little bit too early? It's a very good header. There could be an element of offside. People in the chat are saying there could be an element of offside here. 30 seconds. No, the goal's been given, and the referee has blown the whistle, so there's no offside there at all. We didn't get to see any VAR. They didn't take long on it either. Massive. Well, look, Declan Rice has done fantastically well since he came to Arsenal. He's going to be very, very high in the Arsenal fans' opinions now. With that, it's huge. To take 3 points in the final seconds, when you look like you were going to drop 2, and you probably deserve to drop 2, it's a fantastic result. It's a fantastic result if you're an Arsenal fan. It's a horrible result if you wanted Luton to get something. Obviously, I think at the end of the day, Luton probably deserved it, but it was clearly onside because there was no VAR review on it. And Arsenal take a 5-point gap on Liverpool and a 6-point gap on Manchester City. That's where we are at this moment in time. Well, I'm going to do a quick match reaction because I had one ready to do anyway. I wanted to talk about the penalty. We're now going to be talking about Arsenal's title to losers account. Absolutely not. Way, way too early. Way, way too early. Arteta will know they've got away with it a little bit there. They've got to go to Liverpool in a couple of weeks. But, yeah. I'll get the match reaction up in the next few minutes. Thanks everyone who's tuned in tonight. And don't forget, tomorrow night, it's Man United, Chelsea and Man City Villa. I'll be on the United stand for that. Take care. You've been a fantastic audience. Some fantastic chat again. What a community we're building here. And remember, if you've got somebody at Christmas who's got a weak heart, don't play charades. That scenario we talked about would be, it's not worth thinking about. Speak to you all in a bit. Take care.